Have you ever found yourself in a place so lonely, so quiet, that you began to wonder why God would allow you to experience such solitude? The silence can feel deafening, the loneliness almost unbearable. It's frustrating, isn't it? To not understand why or to wrestle with the thought that the very Creator who loves you so deeply has placed you in this state. Yet, let this truth settle in your heart. God knows exactly where you are, how you feel, and why He has brought you here. This is not a punishment but a divine appointment. Sometimes, the people we thought would stand by us forever are the first to walk away. Friends leave, family drifts apart, and the ones we believed would never hurt us may turn their backs. It's painful, and the loss leaves a vast emptiness inside you. But that emptiness is not meant to destroy you. It is a space God has intentionally created for Himself to fill. Perhaps these people came into your life for a season, and in their time with you, they unknowingly pulled you away from your Creator. They may have become distractions, dimming the light of His presence in your life. Now, in their absence, God is calling you back to Him. When life becomes dull, meaningless, or too hard to bear, it's often because we've been trying to fill the God-shaped void in our hearts with everything except Him, and nothing else can ever satisfy. Only He can bring the fullness your soul longs for. In the quiet moments of loneliness, God speaks. It's in these silent places, free from the noise of the world, that His voice becomes clear. But to hear Him, you must turn to Him through prayer. Even when words fail and silence prevails, He will meet you there. And in those moments, you'll discover something profound. We are nothing without Him. Our loneliness, our emptiness, and even our brokenness are the very places where His love can work the most powerfully. No possession, no relationship, no career achievement can fill the void in your heart. It's a sacred space, reserved for Him alone. Sometimes, God brings us to these moments of solitude because He desires to draw closer to us. You may feel forgotten by the world, but you are never forgotten by Him. He hears your cries, knows your pain, and walks with you through every dark valley. Being alone doesn't always mean being physically isolated. Even in a crowd, loneliness can creep in. But as Christians, we are called to embrace solitude at times. Just as Jesus did, He withdrew from the crowds to pray and to connect with the Father. There's a time for fellowship with others, but there's also a time for personal communion with God. In those moments, we build a stronger relationship with Him, finding peace and comfort that only He can give. When you feel alone, see it as an invitation, an opportunity to draw closer to God. He desires to be your closest friend, your confidant, and your source of strength. Talk to Him as you would a dear friend. Share your burdens, your fears, and your hopes with Him, and in return, He will give you a peace that surpasses all understanding. A peace that quiets the storms of your heart and reassures you that you are deeply loved. The key to overcoming loneliness is shifting your focus to God. When you do, you'll begin to realize that you are never truly alone. His presence is always near, guiding you, comforting you, and working in your life for His purpose. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and feel His nearness. He's right there with you, even now. This is why He allows loneliness. It's not to harm you, but to grow you. Matthew 28 verse 20 reminds us of His promise. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age. This promise is unchanging. No matter how far you feel from Him, He is never far from you. Much like a strong marriage thrives on intentional time together, your relationship with God requires moments of intimacy and focus. Even in the busiest seasons of life, He desires for you to pause, withdraw from the noise, and spend time with Him. Jesus set this example for us. In Matthew 14, verse 23, we see Him retreating to the mountainside, alone, to pray. If even the Son of God needed these moments, how much more do we? When you find yourself alone, remember, it's not rejection, it's preparation. God is using this time to refine you, to strengthen you, and to mold you into the person He created you to be. He's separating you from distractions, setting you apart for a higher purpose. The Bible says, "Come out from among them and be separate." He is sanctifying you, preparing you for something extraordinary. Even when relationships fail, jobs are lost, or dreams fall apart, you are not defeated. You are being repositioned. God uses these seasons to draw us closer, to teach us to rely on Him alone, trust in His plan, even when it doesn't make sense. He will never fail you. In these moments of quiet, God births new dreams, new strength, and a deeper understanding of who He is. Solitude becomes a sacred space where you and God meet, where He reveals His plans for you, and where you are reminded of your worth in Him. So, if you find yourself in a season of loneliness, embrace it. Let God work in your heart. Let Him fill the empty spaces. As you draw closer to Him, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more assured of His presence in your life. Loneliness isn't the end. It's the beginning of something beautiful. Trust Him in the silence. Let Him lead you, and you will find joy, purpose, and peace like never before. God bless you, and may you always find comfort in His everlasting arms.